I'm just gonna say I'm dealing with that Illuminati shit right now, man. I'm gonna need spiritual help. I got Santa Muerte. My road spirits as best as they can. And and my body all fucked up and cored out. It's to where I can't even use 117 hertz combined with 800 hertz to do anything. And hopefully by uploading this don't have a neck, this don't fuck my ass up. Heard they were gonna put an entity attachment the minute I walk out my fucking room and shit. I'm fucking pissed. Just want to say for the record, I need spiritual help. The whole spirit team is being designated by the Illuminati, mainly Meghan Markle and all of them. She killed off Santa Muerte in the middle of the night. Hopefully making this video doesn't adversely affect me, as well as that Ashley Terrell or Tremblay or Beatrice or Brianna, who stole my body going back to August 22nd, 2022 timeline, killed off my parents, Santa Muerte and all of that. With that being said, I'm being attacked really, really bad by the Illuminati, so I need, spiritual help. All right. I want to go ahead and do this video. I don't know if I did one yesterday. I was kind of told not to do one. So I acted on advice. I should probably go on common sense. I don't think it's wise to do a video right now. Probably not a lot of my shit woke back. If I work with my spirit team and all of that, and my consciousness needs to be more protected. With that being said, my child self they keep trying to get rid of actually saw, hopefully she's together, and she was kind of, I had the source helping me out and everything. My entity attachments are so fucked up. It's not even funny. I just lost my voice literally, not from a cough or from an illness. I physically felt it. I hope I'm making the right decision. I don't know. Satan was helping me out and he got fucked up last night and everything else. Many things, I had Illuminati tried to steal their power. As a matter of fact, I came out kicking early this morning. I just stopped giving a fuck and I started playing 1248 hertz combined with 2160 hertz. I actually have it in my thing, and the Illuminati was using it against us. Hopefully it's not allowing them to be able to use my entity attachments against me and shit. That happens a lot when I do these videos. They start fucking with me. But from what I saw in the spirit plane, I felt it, I saw it. I did, I talk about getting back into my timeline, and I was trying very, very hard. I heard that, maybe coming from a timeline where I was under Hecate instead of becoming her successor. You saw my situation saying it's the worst. And in that one where I'm under her, my past life self, from what I understand, was wise to make the decision. Because I guess if you're an incarnated God, you're dumbed down to just be under her. Anyways, in that timeline, that was like one of the very few I was placed under her, and I was, advised spiritually, intuitively, energetically, to just stay in the American motel and do a video, until I get that shit off. And, like I say, going back to it, I wish I knew the frequencies. It's so many missteps, like, for instance, last night I was talking with my road spirits, and I had Meghan Markle, and the girl that stole my body, soul swapped me, I forgot, Ashley Terrell or Tremblay, or, also when I mentioned Brianna, Beatrice, she got, upset. As a matter of fact, I've been having Princess Beatrice in the spirit plane help. With that being said, it's William, anyways, with that being said, don't fuck shit up. Like I said, I was playing at 1248 hertz combined with 2160 hertz, 1248 hertz early this morning. Something was just saying, listen to that shit, just try to get that shit off. You got the frequencies, you're smart, you got the answers. It's just this shit, like I saw in my road spirits and Satan last night towers over you like a motherfucker. Physically, but anyways, from what they saw, so I was at Area 51 and all that shit at first with all this, and for a place with trying to put me back in my body. I remember trying to get back in, so it's true. Anyways, I broke out. Speaking on a Hecate issue, I was trying to get out this situation. It's the most depressing. I was playing 1.7 million hertz on a video, to be able to avoid alien abductions. I should upload it. But with that being said, while I was playing it, I noticed some of them throughout Atlas, Anamura 1450, whatever the fuck they call them, aliens, they were dispatched by the Illuminati. It's giant roaches that they made a deal with, I'm guessing, that they dispatched by the Illuminati. I think 7,002 hertz, 7,000 hertz combined with 1150 hertz works on them. I know 735 hertz do. From what I had a road spirit explain to me last night, they're fifth dimensional, they're physical. When I think of fifth dimensional, I think of spirit. I didn't think that they were, easy to manipulate, but they're not. I thought you just put them in the 5D and you can get them, but turns out, if you're in the 5D, 6D, whatever, you have physicality. With that being said, last night, I was trying to get out this situation and get rid of, the Illuminati and all my fucking timelines, do something to turn back the clock, because it's very depressing. It's a bunch of evil people, the royal family, the Windsor Mountbattens included, along with the Rothschilds. who got involved to try to feed off of me as a sacrifice. And I'm damn near at their mercy. I heard, to keep my mother from being able to rebuild herself, she's connected to my ISIS entity attachment where they got the He shit from, where they fucking mauled her up. I thought it was Jacob Rothschild. I heard it's Amshel Merde Rothschild here. They made Meghan Markle the sacrifice. A lot of good information out there. They made Meghan Markle the sacrifice from what I heard. Almost like pulled the bitch out her motherfucking body and shit. That's an evil motherfucker from what I understand, going back to that original timeline. But from what I understand, my situation is very fucking depressing. With that being said, I was trying to do something, going back to the heat cake thing, to get back into my body. At one point, I was playing a video that has 1.7 million hertz. What I started doing to get my shit back is combining like 1.7 million hertz, adding 1.7 million hertz and 3002 hertz to get stuff back. 295 hertz, 295 combined with 695 hertz. 3003 hertz, I heard, is a very good frequency for accurately finding where your shit is while simultaneously getting your stuff back. I did that when the Rothschilds gave my shit to the girl that soul swapped me. And what I've been doing is adding zeros, to the end and the beginning of the 3002 hertz. You don't do that to the 1.7 million hertz. And for that, you just download 1.7 hertz and get something with zeros, clip out the zeros, and just, get your frequency from there. With that being said, it's, I saw some of the 3-eye Atlas on the Marara, whatever the fuck you want to call them, 14 on the Marara. Chief, Safaris, whatever you want to call them, aliens going into the video and into that timeline. Literally, I saw it. I saw different beings, my Archangel Michael, my old Archangel, little Michael, John's spirit guide, my higher self came through to help out, my connection to God. I'm just going to say right now, if it wasn't for Santa Muerte, who's under Satan, and if it wasn't for Satan, man, he actually came through. And he was trying to get my black ass back. As a matter of fact, like I said before, they demolished the poor man in the spirit plane. They, killing him off, and, they were killing off my road spirits last night. You can use 694 hertz, 695 hertz, add the 1.7 million hertz to see. Add the zeros at the end and the beginning. By itself, 694, there's another one for the Akashic Records. I think it's the knowledge. There's a famous, it's a really, really big Illuminati number that's for knowledge. And they cite it all the time. It's, I forgot the number. It'll come back to me. But it's 322 hertz. But I think that's Akashic Records number, quite possibly. But 694, 695 hertz is best. Meghan Markle stole my third eye. Again, use 694, 695 hertz to see as many zeros at the end and beginning as possible at 1.7 million hertz. It's I was using 175 hertz to heal Satan. I was trying to help him out as much as I can. His demons tried to come through. But anyways, he was trying to get me back. Him and my, connection to God. My dad, who's my connection to God, Napoleon Williams Jr., as well as my mom, Linda Williams. You know, my dad, you know, I saw him a long time ago in Mexico. They got her, and my timeline is going back to 2010, where I look like this. Where she was fucking with me. You know, she don't want to get into, you know, my beach timelines because I beat her ass. It's like I had to do somebody, when this shit first all started, I remember Baron Samity showing me I won't have my timelines when I was taking the bus. My timelines were going to be taken from me, which means dead, which means I ain't in my body. I remember the day I got taken out and trying to get back in. With that being said, you know, from what I understand, they totally tore my mother up to where she's nothing. And, you know, the Illuminati been putting runes on her. You know, you can use, I heard 3.8 million hertz for 1.9 million hertz. You know, again, just download the 1.9 hertz and then a 3.8 million, 3.8 hertz is zeros, or 3.2 hertz or 3.5 hertz is good, but I'm not really sure. I was using 3.7 hertz, and that seems to get your shit back from what I felt. So I don't know, you know, again, use them frequencies that I got posted. I'll just post them again just. With that being said, they started putting runes on the body, so I couldn't use 3517 hertz or 117 hertz combined with 800 hertz, which is all fucked up. Because, you know, the Illuminati, you know, despite soul contracting, despite the fact with me not soul contracting with them motherfuckers, they, soul contracting with them, they stole my soul consciousness, started controlling my, you know, entity attachment, stole, consciousness, a part of my consciousness and everything else. And, you know, gave it to themselves as well as to her. And, you know, they've been kicking me out, you know, from what I understand fully yesterday. That's why Satan got involved out my body. But they gave that girl, Ashley Tremblay or Ashley Terrell or whatever her name is, or Brianna. I know she comes from Destrehan, Louisiana, at Chafalaya Bay. All my powers. It's like they've been doing with that Zendaya Coleman from that timeline. You know, I heard my fucking third eye is inaccurate. I can't even see what the fuck is going on. And my frequency is supposed to, you know, not be good enough and all of that. With that being said, they took out my original road spirit entity attachments, got them all on board, and they did something right after me and Santa Muerte, well, with Santa Muerte's help, were about to escape. They got her on as well. They did something where they divided up our body. I remember Jacob Rothschild coming to take us out of some shit. And said, seeing them timelines, I'm just like, and seeing what's happening with me, I'm like, I can't deal with this shit. You know, I gotta do something about this. I'm being called out every single fucking day, harassed by them evil ass motherfucking Illuminati motherfuckers for that successorship that he caved. And hearing about, you know, how all of these people are, you know, living great lives, you know, where they don't even have to bat an eye about what's going on with me and think about what's happening and, you know, take for granted shit that gets stolen from me, you know, my body parts and stuff, every day and every fucking night. You know, being on board a spaceship, I was showing proof. You know, the roaches were telling me they got you, you know, whatchamacallit on board, and now they have you where you all fucked up. Where they have you, I don't want to say stretched out, but where they have you fucked up all over the place. The spirit, where they have, you know, they're in, you know, my entity attack roach spirit somewhere, my spirit team somewhere, they have them on board the ship, but it's not all, you know, I heard they put me on the physical ship before I was on the one with ancestors. The spirit with ancestors, it was all over the place. They got their shit somewhere. You know, it's a lot that's going on. You know, Archangel Michael, I believe, hopefully it is him. It's hard to tell because I get energy harvested so bad. I'm down to my soul consciousness, so it's hard to discern who is and who isn't. That's why child was like, I just played the 1.7 million hertz combined with 115 hertz, which is good for finding hard to find people. Once I combine that with 3517 hertz and 115 hertz to find my parents, you know, right now I plan on doing 1.7 million hertz combined with 115 hertz and 3517 hertz to get my people back and get them permanently out of harm's way. You know, I know they got them on board this ship. They got my ancestors somewhere, my spirit team, and they have the royal family. You know, the Mountbatten Winds is all connected to my consciousness. They have my shit in their consciousness. But they have a lot of my shit, my soul consciousness is the most cruel fucking thing tied to them. I don't like these timelines. I don't like the fact of where the fuck I'm at. You know, that's why I'm kicking myself in the ass. You know, I can make a change now at the missteps. I wish I knew the frequencies I knew now back then so I can get that shit off. You know, even now I can make a change. It's not impossible, I don't feel. I'm told that it is, and I felt it when Jacob Rothschild came to put me on the physical ship so they could energy harvest me and I could never escape. That's the one where Santa Muerte was helping me out and helping me get not to, you know, the physical, but back to someplace close to it. You know, I had the source almost bring me to that, you know, the other night because of how bad things were getting. They fucking with the Egyptian. It's a lot of evil shit. I heard that they wanted to take over the commissions. You know, I heard they placed Michael Jackson in the roach room and all of that to do that once he died. Probably the I call him the Odin Lloyd / Moles Millions roaches. Told I'm surrounded by first entity, not roach attachments of people. I remember a friend of mine when I was sitting down and I spoke with him. He said, he turned his hand around like this and said, I'm an entity attachment. And I knew him way before, you know, from what I understand, I got placed into hell in 2024, 2025. Yeah, it was 2024, May the 1st, 2024. I just, you know, in that one timeline, from what I understand, where I was under heat, Kate, you know, I was smart because she told me all the shit you would endure. She's saying, nah, fuck that. You just take over. You take the reins. I live my life. We good. Gucci. I stayed at the American Motel and did not leave that fucking place until I got that shit extricated. That whole curse. That shit was when I was in jail. You know, I heard my parents get trapped in the hell. When I was in jail, I was going through hell. I heard somebody I rescued the other night trying to, Illuminati was going over there to threaten the person if they tried to help me and shit. But it's just hellish. But I was told, I was intuitively led to get this shit off because she saw the other timelines like mine where we're under Bear Insanity where that nigga was not providing any fucking protection whatsoever. You know, from what I understand, the Illuminati destroyed him. I think they Meghan Markle's timelines. You know, that reminds me, it's I kept thinking it's Jacob Rothschild. That was David. Jacob Rothschild is the one. I kept hearing that he's the one that I thought that he was the one whose head we were in, but turns out he was Madame Shirley Rothschild. Attacking my child consciousness and everything else and removing that out and took out a major part of my soul consciousness. My little child spirit guide was helping. You know, they got my third eye where I can't even accurately see what's going on and manipulate things in the spirit plane with it, like I used to in the past. You know, did soul rescue when I was in jail. I heard my use of that's why I was playing 1248 hertz all fucking day because of this shit. I'm like, hey, this and that, and like I ain't got time for it. It's too agonizing to have to deal with micromanaging shit that's supposed to be within your consciousness, but it's exteriorized outside of it. Like these motherfuckers keep getting me. I can. I have to have a good spirit team to monitor this, like what's going on right now. Schizophrenic, but this shit's real and it's affecting me physically. Over my inner entity attachments I just felt. That's why I was playing at 1248, 2160 hertz. But anyways, Saint was, trying to help out as much as he can yesterday. But the fan appearance by David Rothschild. Glass is coming and try to fuck with us. But anyways, I was trying. But anyways, I heard, they did something where they put rooms on my mother so I couldn't use 3517 hertz or 117 hertz combined with 800 hertz to put her back. Like I said, when I was trying to use 117 hertz combined with 800 hertz, I've been combining that with 1.7 million hertz and with 3517 hertz. It seems not to be all that effective. It did something where it pulled out her organs because they have, the Rothschilds and all of them after stealing my shit, giving it to themselves as well as the girl who soul swapped me. I saw that they were controlling my soul consciousness and every fucking thing else without my permission and stealing my powers through that beast apocalypse shit. But that's, despite the fact I don't have a soul contract with them, they were stealing my soul consciousness, giving it to her, taking over my father, my parents' consciousnesses and all of that. My parents as my higher to higher selves. Talking about, you ain't got no authority, you ain't got no power, so we don't have to respect you. Straight up fucking, I'm not demon, working with Satan. Demon is a disrespect, and they tried to usurp him and steal his shit and control humanity. That's why the Egyptians keep him down, from what I understand. They were the ones who created the God industrial complex. With that being said, they tried to rule that the other day. With that being said, they were stealing my timelines, giving it to her. They did something where they put her timelines in the consciousness or some shit like that, so I couldn't get back in my body, as well as so they can steal my power to do that beast of the apocalypse shit with Zendaya Coleman. It was taking away my physicality at one point. I could physically feel it. It was scary. Never being blocked from doing the worst. Like I said, if it wasn't for Saint, man, I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't my dad, who stuck in hell realms by them in that timeline, I wouldn't be here. It's all their handiwork, and it's obvious. If it wasn't for Santa Muerte, most of all, I wouldn't be here. They had him stuck in hell realms. I had to play 125 hertz for him. With them frequencies for rooms, I think you can use 3.7 hertz. I know that pulls stuff back. 1.9 hertz is really good. 1.9 million hertz is really good for that. 3.7 million hertz, I think, can pull stuff back. 3.2 million hertz, 3.5 million hertz. I just combined it with 1.7 million hertz to get an effect. Again, you just download the 1.7 and all that at 1.9. 3.7, whatever. I heard 3.8 is really good for getting your shit, put together, and I was trying to use that, but I wasn't sure because of how fucked up third eye is and the ability to perceive what's going on in the spirit realm. I couldn't discern. This shit gets to me. I don't like being in this position, and I know what happened went down. He came from that timeline. It's a timeline where, from what I understand, He was protecting me. Baron Samedi, that nigga wasn't going to do shit. He was an asshole who was kind of complicit in it. They fucked him up as well as Lego on the spirit plane, but they're trying to, the Illuminati, just like we're saying at one point, is trying to use that as a conduit to control, blacks like they do in that timeline. Where I died, got taken out of my body on August 22nd, 2022. And I remember, so I know it's true. With that being said, that's why they've been trying to take out my little road spirits. I was playing 3517 hertz for them. They were tearing them up, Satan. 175 hertz to repair people. 3517 hertz could be used to put spirit bodies back together. 117 hertz combined with 800 hertz. If it wasn't for how they got my physicality fucked up, that's one of my go-to frequencies to put myself back together, to get certain ancestors back. These motherfuckers were fucking with all aspects of my energy body, my shit. And I saw with that David Rothschild the other day how fucked up my energy body is, man. He physically came and tried to put it back together. That's veritable, and that's undeniable. Anyways, from what I saw in the spirit plane, it's the most evil fucking thing, It's a bunch of motherfuckers that's feeding off of me and getting their wealth, but only by having me as a sacrifice. Without that, none of them would have their shit, including the Rothschilds and the Mountbatten Windsors. I tried to do something the other day, with the beings that they made a deal with to get them, out and put them in hell realms. I've been working with Satan to try to do that. Santa Muerte, they got trapped in all of that, a bunch of people, to do something about the soul contract. I use 1215 hertz to annul a soul contract that they have with them seer carbines. They're supposed to be giant roaches. I'm going to try to use mine, but it's not the case. But anyways, when I was playing the 1.7 million hertz, which helps you if you get abducted by aliens to get back to Earth, it puts you back together, I believe. More so it gets you back if you've been abducted. I was playing a video of it, thinking about uploading it in the future. And so with that being said, I noticed the aliens going in, and I could see, my old timelines and all of that, and it was very fucking depressing. With that being said, this whole reality is depressing. What happened to my parents, family, they keep trying to put them under heavy fucking spiritual oppression. Keeping them stuck in hell realms. That's why I've been playing, 125 hertz for them. You know, it's so bad Santa Muerte had to pull my brother Chris and all of them from them timelines into hell realms, into, you know, their so-called hell realms, really the higher parts of them to help.